My name is Miles Calder, and I've spent the last 18 months wondering why my wife's comfort requires so much maintenance. The gray sweatshirt sits in Nora's drawer like a shrine. Every Tuesday, I watch her pull it out, hold it against her chest, breathe in deep. "It's just comfortable," she says when I ask. "Some things you can't replace." But comfort doesn't need weekly dry cleaning. Contact does. I work as a government consultant for the Department of Energy, which means I notice patterns, data points, anomalies. The sweatshirt appears every laundry cycle, washed, folded, returned to Nora's drawer like devotion. The fabric softener scent renews weekly, that artificial mountain breeze smell that clings to cotton like guilt. Nora claims it belonged to her ex-boyfriend from college. "Damon was always cold," she tells me, running her fingers along the sleeves. "He gave it to me sophomore year. I've had it ever since." That was 15 years ago. Cotton doesn't survive 15 years of regular wear without showing threads, stains, the inevitable decay of time. This sweatshirt looks perpetually refreshed. Tuesday morning, I decide to test a theory. "Your ex moved to Seattle, right?" I mention over coffee, keeping my voice casual. "What was his name again? Damon something?" "Damon Varron," Nora answers without hesitation. "Yeah, he moved out there years ago. Tech job, I think. Why?" I checked the local apartment registry that morning. Damon Varron lives 14 blocks away, same unit number for 3 years. The first lie exposes the architecture. "Just curious," I say. "Funny how some things stick around longer than the people who gave them to us." Nora's smile tightens. "Some things are worth keeping." I watch her fold the sweatshirt, place it back in the drawer with ceremonial precision. Her fingers linger on the fabric like she's touching memory itself. That evening, I start my own ritual. I call it drawer archaeology, documenting every time the sweatshirt appears or vanishes, noting the freshness level, the positioning, the way Nora's breathing changes when she holds it. The data tells a story. The sweatshirt disappears Tuesday evenings, returns Wednesday mornings. It leaves unwashed, returns pristine. Nora's Tuesday night yoga class runs from 7 to 8:30, but her car's odometer shows 12 additional miles every Wednesday. 14 blocks there, 14 blocks back. Math doesn't lie, even when wives do. I create a file on my laptop. Comfort analysis. Inside, I track the sweatshirt's movements like a classified intelligence report. Date, time, condition, associated behaviors. Nora's shower schedule changes on Tuesdays. She showers before leaving, not after returning from yoga. She takes her phone to the bathroom those nights, something she never does otherwise. By Friday, I have enough data points to map the deception. My wife isn't keeping her ex's sweatshirt for comfort. She's returning it to him weekly, freshly worn, like some twisted rental agreement. The question isn't why she kept it. The question is why he keeps taking it back. Saturday morning, I watch Nora sleep. Her face looks peaceful, innocent even. No trace of the calculated liar who's been playing dress-up in another man's apartment. She breathes evenly, one hand curled against her cheek like a child. I wonder how long she's been practicing this performance. How many Tuesday nights has she driven to Damon's place while I believed she was stretching on yoga mats? How many times has she returned home smelling like fabric softener and other people's lies? The worst part isn't the betrayal. It's the precision, the careful choreography of deception, the weekly ritual that requires planning, timing, coordination. This isn't impulse or accident. This is architecture. I close my laptop and head to the kitchen. Time to build my own structure. Tuesday evening arrives with October rain, the kind that turns city streets into mirrors. Nora emerges from our bedroom at 7:15, wearing her long wool coat, the black one with deep pockets. "Running late for yoga," she says, kissing my cheek. "Don't wait up." I watch from the window as she walks to her car. The coat hangs loose, too loose. Underneath, she's wearing nothing but skin and intention. I give her a 5-minute head start, then grab my keys. Following someone requires patience, distance, and the willingness to discover things you can't unknow. I learned basic surveillance techniques during my security clearance process: how to spot tails, how to avoid them, how to be invisible in plain sight. Tonight, I'm the one doing the watching. Nora's Honda takes familiar routes through downtown, past the yoga studio she's supposedly attending, toward the residential district where Damon Varron maintains his carefully hidden life. I stay 3 cars back, my headlights lost among dozens of others navigating the rain-slicked streets. She parks outside a mid-rise apartment building, the kind with security doors and mailboxes that require keys. I pull into a space across the street, turn off the engine, and wait. Nora sits in her car for 2 minutes, checking her phone, adjusting her hair in the rearview mirror. Then she steps out into the rain. The coat opens as she walks. Underneath, she's naked except for black underwear and the gray sweatshirt. My wife is delivering herself to another man wearing his clothes like gift wrap. She uses a key to enter the building. Not a buzzer, not an intercom call, a key. How long does someone need to live a double life before they get their own key? I photograph everything: her car, the building, the timestamp on my phone showing 7:47 p.m. Evidence for a trial I'm already planning. The building has 12 floors, maybe 60 units. Damon's apartment faces the street, 4th floor, corner unit. I know because I researched the property records, cross-referenced them with utility bills I found in Nora's purse last week. Knowledge is preparation. Preparation is power. At 8:15, a light appears in Damon's window, then another, then the blinds close. I wait in my car, rain drumming against the windshield, calculating years of deception against minutes of evidence. How many Tuesday nights have I spent alone, believing my wife was improving her flexibility while she was actually demonstrating it? My phone buzzes. Text from Nora. Class running late. Home by 10. I check her location on Find My iPhone, the app we installed for safety after her car broke down last winter. The little blue dot sits precisely at Damon's address. Even her lies have become lazy. At 9:23, I decide to ring the doorbell. The building's security door requires a code, but I watch a resident enter and slip in behind them. The hallway smells like carpet cleaner and other people's secrets. I take the elevator to the 4th floor, find Unit 4C, and press the button. Footsteps approach. The peephole darkens as someone looks out. The door opens. Damon Varron stands there in boxer shorts and confusion, his chest still flushed from recent activity. Behind him, I hear scrambling, my wife's voice hissing urgent whispers. She's probably grabbing the sweatshirt, trying to hide evidence that's already been cataloged. He's smaller than I expected. Gym-built but soft around the edges, the kind of man who pays for muscles but can't earn respect. His eyes dart between my face and the hallway behind me, looking for escape routes or explanations. Miles, he says, like my name is a question he doesn't want answered. Damon. I keep my voice level, conversational. Nice place, good security. Look, I can explain. No need. I glance past him toward the bedroom, where Nora has gone silent. I just wanted to return something. I pull out my phone, show him the photos I took tonight, his car in the parking lot, Nora entering the building, the timestamp showing 7:47 p.m. You can keep the sweatshirt, I tell him. I'm keeping the house. I turn and walk away before either of them can respond. Behind me, Nora's voice explodes into panic, but I don't look back. The elevator doors close on the sound of my marriage ending and my revenge beginning. The drive home takes 12 minutes. I spend them planning the next phase. Wednesday morning, Nora doesn't come home. I make coffee for one, eat breakfast alone, check my email like any other day. At 8:30, she texts, "Staying at Mom's tonight. Need space to think." Her mother lives in Florida. Nora's spending her space-needing time in Damon's bed, probably wearing his sweatshirt like armor against the consequences of her choices. I call my friend Jax Jaksic, a former police detective who now runs private investigations for divorce attorneys and suspicious spouses. We've known each other since college, back when we thought loyalty meant something. I need professional advice, I tell him over lunch at the Driftwood, our usual bar near the harbor. About what? Jack sips his beer, eyes already calculating. He's heard this tone before. I lay out the evidence, the sweatshirt, the apartment, the Tuesday night routine. Jax listens without interrupting, occasionally nodding like he's checking items off a familiar list. How long? He asks when I finish. 18 months, maybe longer. Hard to say when it started. Kids? No. We've been trying for 2 years. Nora's been seeing specialists. Jax's expression darkens. What kind of specialists? Fertility doctors, hormone treatments. She handles all the appointments. Miles. He leans forward. You need to get tested, soon. For what? Everything. Dirt work, hormone levels, drug screening. If she's been planning this long, she's been planning everything. That afternoon, I schedule an appointment with Dr. Patricia Chen, a physician Jax recommends who specializes in cases involving potential poisoning or medical deception. It sounds paranoid until she explains how common it is. Wives have been medicating husbands for centuries, Dr. Chen tells me as she draws dirt samples. Usually sedatives or mood stabilizers, something to keep you manageable while they reorganize their lives. How would I know? Chronic fatigue, brain fog, decreased motivation, reduced interest in confrontation. Does any of that sound familiar? All of it sounds familiar. For the past year, I've felt like I'm living underwater, everything muffled and slow. I blamed work stress, middle age, the normal erosion of time. Results take 48 hours, Dr. Chen says, but I'm also going to give you something else. She hands me a business card. Dr. Helena Rydell, Marriage and Family Therapy. We've been seeing her for couples counseling, I explain. Nora's idea. I know. Dr. Rydell contacted my office last month asking about your medical records. She claimed it was for your therapy sessions. The room tilts. You didn't give them to her? Of course not. But I found it interesting that your therapist was more concerned with your physical health than your mental state. I drive home with my worldview rearranging itself. The couple's therapy sessions, the ones where Dr. Rydell always seemed to side with Nora, where my concerns got reframed as paranoia and my questions became symptoms of deeper issues. I thought she was helping us communicate. She was helping Nora manage me. That evening, I book an individual session with Dr. Rydell. I need to discuss some personal concerns without Nora present, I tell her receptionist. Marital issues I'm not ready to share with my wife yet. Friday at 3 p.m., I sit in Dr. Rydell's overly decorated office, surrounded by inspirational posters and tissues strategically placed for maximum emotional impact. She's a woman in her late 50s with the kind of maternal smile that hides sharp teeth. Miles, I'm so glad you felt comfortable reaching out individually, she begins. What's troubling you? I decide to test the waters. I think Nora might be having an affair. Dr. Rydell's expression doesn't change, but her pen stops moving. What makes you think that? Small things. Changes in routine, secretiveness, emotional distance. Have you considered that your suspicions might be a projection of your own insecurities? How do you mean? In our sessions, you've expressed feelings of inadequacy, concerns about not being enough for Nora. Sometimes we create the very scenarios we fear most. I let her talk, recording everything on my phone hidden in my jacket pocket. She spends 20 minutes convincing me that my evidence is paranoia, my instincts are unreliable, my marriage is failing because of my inability to trust. I think we should bring Nora into this conversation, she concludes. She's been very concerned about your recent behavior. My recent behavior? The questioning, the checking up on her, the general suspicion. She mentioned you've been going through her things. Nora's been reporting to Dr. Rydell about my investigation. The therapist isn't treating our marriage. She's protecting Nora's affair. Has Nora been seeing you individually? I ask. I can't discuss other patients, even spouses. But she is your patient? A pause. We should focus on your concerns, Miles. I leave the session with 43 minutes of recorded conversation, all of it pointing toward a conspiracy between my wife and our therapist. Dr. Rydell isn't just crossing ethical boundaries, she's obliterating them. That night, I researched Dr. Rydell's practice, her credentials, her other patients. What I find makes my stomach turn. She's also Damon Varron's therapist. Saturday morning brings Dr. Chen's test results and confirmation of what I already suspected. Low-level lithium toxicity, consistent with 18 months of gradual administration. This isn't accidental, Dr. Chen explains over the phone. Someone's been medicating you systematically. Lithium requires careful dosing to avoid detection while maintaining effects. What effects? Emotional blunting, reduced energy, cognitive fog, decreased motivation to investigate or confront problems. Essentially, it turns you into a more manageable version of yourself. I think about the vitamin organizer Nora refills every Sunday, the way she insists I take my supplements with breakfast. The daily ritual, I thought, showed her caring about my health. How long to get it out of my system? 2 weeks of hydration and clean supplements. You'll start feeling more alert within days. I hang up and call Jax. I need to get inside Damon's apartment. That's breaking and entering. That's evidence gathering. Miles. She's been poisoning me, Jax. Lithium in my vitamins for over a year. I need to know what else she's been hiding. Silence on the line. Then, when? Sunday afternoon, while Nora's supposedly visiting her sister and Damon's at his weekly golf game, Jax and I approach his apartment building. Jax has tools that make locks cooperative and experience that makes security cameras look the wrong way. 20 minutes maximum, he warns as we take the elevator to the 4th floor. Document everything, touch nothing unnecessary. Damon's apartment tells the story Nora's been writing in secret. Her toiletries crowd the bathroom counter, expensive face cream, prescription bottles, a toothbrush worn down from months of use. The bedroom closet holds her clothes, not just the sweatshirt but entire outfits, shoes, a jewelry box I gave her for our anniversary. In the kitchen, I find mail addressed to Nora at this address, forwarded from our house. Credit card statements, medical bills, correspondence from her job. She's been living here while sleeping in my bed. The nightstand reveals the deepest betrayal. A second phone, an iPhone in a pink case I've never seen. I photograph the lock screen, which shows dozens of text messages between baby and N. The timestamps correspond to nights when Nora claimed to be working late, visiting friends, attending yoga classes. But the real discovery sits on Damon's desk, a manila folder labeled Miles Energy Debt. Inside, I find photocopies of classified documents from my home office, reports on wind farm developments and solar grid installations, information that Damon, as a defense contractor, shouldn't possess. Nora hasn't just been betraying our marriage. She's been committing espionage. We need to go, Jack says, checking his watch. 15 minutes. I photograph everything. The documents, the toiletries, the forwarded mail, the second phone. Evidence of a parallel life Nora's been constructing while dismantling mine. In the bathroom medicine cabinet, I find the final piece, prescription bottles for birth control pills and hormone blockers, both in Nora's name, dated 6 months ago, the same time frame when she started her supposed fertility treatments. She's been preventing pregnancy while claiming to pursue it. Every doctor's appointment, every injection, every hopeful conversation about starting a family, all lies designed to keep me invested in a future she was actively preventing. I photograph the prescription labels and close the cabinet. My hands shake with rage that feels clean and sharp, unfiltered by the lithium fog I've been living in for 18 months. Got everything? Jax asks. Everything I need. We lock the apartment and leave no trace of our visit. In the elevator, I organize the photos on my phone, creating a timeline of deception that spans nearly 2 years. What's the plan? Jax asks as we reach the parking garage. Controlled demolition. I'm going to destroy them piece by piece, starting with their careers and ending with their freedom. Miles, she poisoned me, Jax. For 18 months, she fed me drugs to keep me compliant while she stole classified information and lived with another man. This isn't just adultery, it's conspiracy. Jax nods slowly. What do you need? Contacts at the FBI, someone who handles security clearance violations. I know a guy. Agent Calder works counterintelligence, owes me a favor. Set up a meeting. And Jax, this stays between us until I'm ready to move. Understood. That evening, I sit in my home office, surrounded by evidence of my wife's systematic destruction of our life together. The lithium is already clearing my system, leaving me alert and angry, and finally ready to fight back. Nora returns home at 9, claiming her sister sends love and asking how my day went. Quiet, I tell her. Just catching up on some reading. She kisses my forehead and heads upstairs to shower. I listen to the water running and plan her ruin with the precision she used to plan mine. Monday morning, Agent Calder meets me at a coffee shop downtown. He's younger than I expected, maybe 35, with the kind of alert eyes that catalog everything and forget nothing. Jax says you have information about classified material mishandling. He begins without preamble. I slide a manila folder across the table. My wife has been photographing documents from my home office and sharing them with her boyfriend, who holds a defense contractor security clearance. Agent Calder opens the folder, examines the photos I took in Damon's apartment. His expression doesn't change, but he takes notes in a small black notebook. These documents originated from your home office? Yes. I consult for the Department of Energy on renewable infrastructure projects. Everything in that folder is classified at various levels. And you believe your wife provided copies to... He checks his notes. Damon Varron? I know she did. I have photos of the documents in his apartment, along with evidence that she's been living there part-time for at least 18 months. Agent Calder closes the folder. We'll need to interview you formally, examine the original documents, and verify the chain of custody. This is a serious allegation. I understand. There's something else. I tell him about the lithium poisoning, Dr. Rydell's involvement, the systematic deception spanning nearly 2 years. Agent Calder takes notes without comment, but I can see him building a case in real time. Mr. Calder, I need to ask, what's your desired outcome here? Justice. My wife and her boyfriend have been committing federal crimes while destroying my life. I want them prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Understood. We'll be in touch within 48 hours. That afternoon, I implement Phase 2 of my plan. I call the medical board and file a formal complaint against Dr. Helena Rydell for ethical violations, including treating multiple parties in a conflict of interest situation and potentially facilitating harmful behavior toward a patient. The complaint triggers an investigation that will examine her patient records, session notes, and professional conduct. I also file complaints with her professional insurance company and the state psychology licensing board. By Wednesday, Dr. Rydell's practice is under review, and her ability to treat new patients is suspended pending investigation. Phase 3 targets Nora's professional life. I contact the board of directors at her company, requesting a confidential meeting to discuss potential financial irregularities involving their CFO. Thursday morning, I sit across from 3 board members and present evidence of the $340,000 in questionable payments to shell companies connected to Damon's business. The invoices, disguised as consulting fees, represent intellectual property theft subsidized through Nora's position. We'll need to conduct an internal audit, the board chairman tells me. If these allegations prove accurate, we'll have no choice but to terminate Ms. Calder and pursue criminal charges. I understand. I just thought you should know before it becomes a federal investigation. By Friday, Nora is placed on administrative leave pending the audit results. That evening, she comes home early, face pale with confusion and growing panic. "Miles, something's happening," she says, pacing our living room. Dr. Rydell's office called to cancel all appointments. They said she's under investigation. And my job? They've suspended me pending some kind of audit. I look up from my laptop, where I've been organizing evidence for Agent Calder. That sounds serious. What kind of audit? Financial irregularities, they said. Someone made allegations about improper payments. I don't understand what they're talking about. I'm sure it's just routine. These things happen in corporate environments. Nora studies my face, searching for something she can't identify. The lithium fog has lifted completely now, leaving me sharp and focused in ways she hasn't seen for 18 months. "You seem different lately," she says. "More alert. More present. I've been feeling better. Maybe it's the new vitamins." "What new vitamins?" "The ones I bought myself. I thought maybe the old ones were making me tired." She goes very still. "What happened to the ones I organized for you?" "Oh, those? I threw them away. They tasted funny." Nora's face loses all color. She knows I know, but she can't figure out how much I know or what I plan to do with the knowledge. "I need some air," she says, grabbing her coat. "Take your time. I'll be here when you get back." She leaves, and I watch from the window as she drives toward Damon's apartment. Probably to warn him, to plan their next move, to figure out how their carefully constructed deception is collapsing around them. I call Jax. It's time for the final phase. "You sure about this?" "She's had 18 months to destroy my life. I'm giving myself 1 week to destroy theirs." "What do you need?" "Help with a public demonstration, something the whole neighborhood will remember." Jack sighs. "This better be worth it." "It will be. Trust me." Saturday morning arrives gray and cold, perfect weather for endings. Nora hasn't come home since Thursday night, and her absence feels like freedom. Agent Calder calls at 9 a.m. "We have enough evidence to proceed with charges. Mr. Varron's security clearance has been revoked, and he's been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. We'll need you to testify before a grand jury next month." "What about my wife?" "Charges are being prepared. Conspiracy to commit espionage, theft of classified materials, and several related federal crimes. She's looking at significant prison time." I hang up and call Jax. "It's today. Are you ready?" "As ready as anyone can be for whatever insane plan you've cooked up." At noon, I drive to Damon's apartment building with a specific purpose. I park across the street and wait. At 12:47, Nora's Honda pulls into the lot. She's coming to warn him about the federal charges, to plan their escape or their defense. I give them 30 minutes to get comfortable, then I call the building's fire department and report a gas leak in the parking garage. "Not dangerous," I explain, "but worth investigating." The fire trucks arrive with sirens blazing, forcing evacuation of the entire building. Residents stream out in various states of dress and panic, gathering on the sidewalk while firefighters investigate the non-existent leak. Nora and Damon emerge together, her wearing the gray sweatshirt like armor, him in jeans and a t-shirt that shows off his gym membership. They stand close together, whispering urgently, probably planning their next move. I cross the street and approach them directly. "Hello, Nora." "Damon." They turn in unison, faces showing recognition followed immediately by fear. "Miles," Nora says, her voice tight with panic. "What are you doing here?" "Returning property." I pull out my phone and show them photos from inside Damon's apartment. Her toiletries, her clothes, her forwarded mail. "You left quite a collection upstairs." Damon steps forward, chest puffed with artificial courage. "Look, man, we can work this out." "Actually, we can't." I show them the next photo, the classified documents on Damon's desk. The FBI disagrees. The color drains from both their faces. Around us, other evacuees are starting to pay attention to our conversation. You called the FBI? Nora whispers. I called them Tuesday. They raided Damon's office Wednesday. His security clearance was revoked Thursday. Federal charges are being filed Monday. Damon's artificial courage crumbles. Those documents, I never asked for those. But you kept them. You used them. You built your consulting business around information stolen from my home office. I turn to Nora. 18 months of espionage. That's a federal crime with a 20-year minimum sentence. Miles, please. Nora reaches for my arm. We can fix this. We can work together. The way we work together on my vitamin supplements. I pull out the lithium prescription bottles I found in Damon's medicine cabinet. Low-level poisoning for 18 months. That's attempted harm. The crowd around us has grown larger, neighbors and strangers drawn by the drama unfolding on their sidewalk. Someone holds up a phone, recording everything. You want to know about comfort? I address the crowd as much as Nora. My wife kept her ex-boyfriend's sweatshirt in our bedroom drawer, said it was just comfortable, but comfort doesn't require weekly maintenance. I pull the gray sweatshirt from a bag I brought with me. Nora gasps and reaches for it, but I step back. Every Tuesday night she drove here wearing nothing under her coat. She'd return this sweatshirt to him, freshly worn like some twisted rental agreement. Then she'd come home and sleep in my bed, telling me she'd been at yoga class. The crowd murmurs with interest and disgust. Phones appear, recording the public confession. But the sweatshirt was just the beginning. She was also stealing classified documents from my office, poisoning my food with lithium to keep me manageable, and preventing pregnancy while claiming to pursue fertility treatments. Nora's face crumples. Miles, stop, please. She built a complete second life in this building while systematically destroying mine. Her toiletries in his bathroom, her mail forwarded to his address, her clothes in his closet. She even had a second phone for their private communications. I hold up the sweatshirt, addressing the crowd like a prosecutor presenting evidence. This piece of cotton represents 18 months of calculated deception, every thread soaked in lies, every fiber woven with betrayal. From my other bag, I pull out a small portable fire pit, the kind used for camping. I set it on the sidewalk and light it with matches. Some things are worth keeping, I say, echoing Nora's words from months ago. This isn't one of them. I drop the sweatshirt into the flames. Nora screams and lunges forward, but Jax appears beside me, blocking her path. The cotton catches quickly, burning with the smell of fabric softener and other people's secrets. No! Nora sobs, reaching toward the fire. That was mine! Actually, it was his. I point to Damon, who stands frozen in shock. Just like you were. The sweatshirt burns completely, leaving only ash and the smell of endings. The crowd watches in fascination as my wife collapses to her knees, sobbing over the remains of her comfort. The FBI will be contacting both of you formally on Monday, I announce loud enough for everyone to hear. Federal charges include espionage, conspiracy, theft of classified materials, and poisoning. Dr. Helena Rydell, their therapist accomplice, has already lost her license. I turn to leave, then pause for one final statement. For 18 months, I lived in a fog of lithium and lies, believing my wife was working late when she was actually living here, believing she wanted children when she was preventing pregnancy, believing our marriage counselor was helping us when she was actually coaching deception. The crowd listens with rapt attention, phones recording every word. But fog lifts, lies unravel, and comfort, real comfort, comes from truth. I walk away, leaving Nora sobbing over ashes and Damon facing the ruins of his career. Behind me, the crowd disperses, carrying the story of the sweatshirt and the wife who traded everything for weekly visits to another man's bed. That night, I sleep alone in my house for the first time in 2 years, finally comfortable in my own space. The silence feels clean, unmarked by deception or the whisper of other people's secrets. Monday morning, I wake up alert and focused, ready to testify, ready to rebuild, ready to live without the weight of other people's lies pressing down on my chest. The sweatshirt is gone, the marriage is over, the truth, finally, is comfortable.